Britain is in the grip of a vomiting epidemic despite nauseating TV adverts. Archbishop Humphrey, the Scottish Church of England, is spending £100 million on slavery. Investigating modern science. Maybe I don't. It's literally you look at your face like, what are you going to do with that, Steve?
Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily. I'm Stephen Allen. It's a day. What more could you possibly want? Hello. Welcome along. What is it? Thursday. And I'm not as tired as I normally am on a Thursday show, so that's good. I'm not quite sure why. I guess I didn't work too hard on last night's newspaper review. Oh well. But speaking of which, that's right. I'm TV's newspaper reviewer, Stephen Allen, here for your entertainment. Oh, that's got to be that's a thing, isn't it? That's a thing. If you tuned in for the first time, and I see we have some new people in the chit chat, well, get involved. In the chit chat, you already have. I'm wasting your time. Go to youtube.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen. In the chat, I don't fully understand what's happened now because I've managed to achieve the lowest rung of anything on the internet of being able to have something on. I'm not good at YouTube. I'll admit it. You can now subscribe or become a massive member, or so I don't really know what the phrase is, but somehow it might get me money. Get involved in the chit chat. Let's go. What's going on over here? We'll start off with Squirrel was first. Joodles, who's now in a different colour because you're a subscriber of some sort. Yay! Says it's raining in Manchester. This just in breaking news. It's raining in one of the rainiest places known to man. And then Squirrel says hello to Joodles. You don't need all every blow, blah, 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 do you? Elite's here. Super to see you all. Looking forward to noon enormously. Me too. I like a big noon. It's tipping here in Northampton. I don't blame it. That's what I'd do if I went to Northampton. I'm going to go a bit lower in the chat. I think you can see it. You can't see this on screen, but you can see it. Jamal says, I'm in a bus. Interesting. Because I would have said on a bus. So, where are you? Are you okay? Are you in the luggage section of a coach? I can hear something from there. Is it Jamal? Enjoy it anyway. It's the best way to travel if you're going on one of those mega buses. It's interesting, isn't it, that you would say on a bus, even though you're inside the bus, unless you're on a bus, in which case that's not the way to use it. And yet you say I'm on a horse, you don't say I'm in a horse. Unless you do. I'm in a nutshell, says Squirrel. That don't make any sense either. Surely the nutshell should be in you. What's gone wrong? The world's gone mad. Up means down. Dogs are loving cats. Men are women now. Well, that's a bad example. Yo, Elite, says Squirrel. Jamal says nut smell. Do your nuts smell? Call in now on 0800. No, we'll get a number at some point for that. Good day, Martin. Jamal, Martin, Elite. Who else is here? Come on, there's got to be. I'm sure Em's turned up, is she? Where's Ems? Hems. That's not how it works, is it? Martin's here, probably had a delivery. Good on you. Mr. Cuff's here saying MC for some reason. Can't touch this. Or don't touch this, not if you're on a horse. Sebastian's here saying good afternoon. And Ems is here, definitely not the cleaner. Oh, I was a little bit late because at 2 minutes to, I had a good idea for something. I mean, it's there. I should have just ignored it and cracked on with the show, but it was the only idea I had today, so gotta do what you gotta do. Hi-ho, Kermit says, Honor Blackman. I would. And I do. All of the great ones. What have you made us happy? What's happened here? I thought we're trying to be post-racial on the show, Kermit, if you don't mind. It's not easy being green, so imagine how it feels for the rest of us. Right, are we up and running? Are we doing a thing? Let's have a little drink. ASMR. M says, I'm not a dog despite what people might think. That's, well, just because you're rather good at rounding up sheep. Saved it. Well done to you, is what I would like to say. And upside down, says Elite. Well, I don't blame you. New chat people. Who let them in? It's Jamal, unless you know him already. Who's that? He's in a coach for crying out loud. And HGA is there as well. I have no idea what that means. Right, let's have a look at what's happening on today's show. Is there any update? I'll get a energy drink going at some stage. But meanwhile, let's start off with what's on the front of the newspapers. Front pages. Front pages. We start off with, look, we're going to have to deal with it, aren't we? We're going to have to deal with the main hideous story that really makes it difficult to have fun reviewing news, but I'm not the biggest victim in any of this, am I? Burning hatred is no way to bring Stephen justice. A terrible event that led to protests, which then led to violence and riots. And everyone says, of course you should condemn that bit. And I'll tell you for why. Not just the obvious reasons, setting fire to something's, burning someone's house, a bad thing. Yeah, it hands a win to the other side of the argument. So all the front pages, and last night on the telly show, we were talking a lot about that, when we should be talking about factors about the crime. Now, obviously, legally on the old telly, the actual crime itself is difficult to talk about because we're heading towards a trial. But we should be debating the issues of the overlap of the Venn diagram of those kind of crimes and immigration. You should be allowed to have the conversation. I think we're at a time when maybe you can have the conversation. But if you do violence on your protest, the news agenda, whatever the thing is, becomes full of that. The family of Stephen said that they don't want to see this cause division. I mean, I agree. I'm sure they mean it. At the same time, what else could they say? You know, whenever these events happen, the family of the victims always say they don't want it to. There's never going to be a time where the family gets away with saying, just go on, have a little set fire to something. Of course not. But what worries me is already the debate has moved away from the area where we should be having. We should be having a conversation. We should be having an immigration conversation for the nation.
Immigration conversation for the nation. You ought to be a border hoarder.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's the right way to treat this serious subject, but what we should be having is that debate. Yes, we have wrong-uns anyway in the UK, and we have laws to try and stop those kind of criminal acts, but there is one subcategory of those kind of criminals that might also be stopped through another means. Making sure even the left should be arguing to have a country with borders and then really help out any asylum seekers we can. You don't have to not have a good border to be able to help people. This is why I don't understand. I don't understand the world. I don't understand people. I don't understand so much. Let's reload that in case I need it again later. But the annoying. So now you're talking about that. And then the government are talking about how the spreading of information on social media leads to these things. Thanks for turning your protests into riots, because now the government are going to use this as a reason to control social media. And again, it's not a left-right thing. It doesn't matter where you sit on the political spectrum, which I'm sure we've covered this before. It's not a spectrum. It's a 2D vector space. Mention vector space.
Science Corner.
But also, while we're doing jingles,
Immigration conversation for the nation. You ought to be a border hoarder.
I'm not really sure if that's the right way to deal with this subject, but wherever you are on the political spectrum, at some point there'll be a government that likes the idea of you not knowing what's going on. I saw a conversation on Sky News that was just all about how these. This was the Kathy Newman interview where she even called it Elon Musk's X. You're not even hiding your point of view there, are you? Was saying that they were spreading information that was causing upset. It was true, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? If the thing that's being spread is true, maybe try and sort out the cause rather than the further down the chain of events symptoms. What else do I need to rant about? I made a list about things to rant about on this. They're talking about, don't worry, these riots will stop. Part of one of the riots, they were heading towards a hotel that was being used to house migrants. This is why they're moving people to HMOs. There's not one place to go and protest then. If you turn up to one house where there's people in it, you very much look like the bad guy, even worse than you are. And the other thing was Sky News. We covered this on the TV last night, but I didn't get to talk about it. There's a clip of Sky News. For some Sophie Ridge, big fan of her work, right? Actually said, it's worth bearing in mind that Stephen will be being treated probably by an immigrant doctor. What's that got to do with it? That's not how the maths of this situation works. Attacked by someone who shouldn't be here legally, but treated by an immigrant doctor, so fair's fair. No, that's... What a weird thing to say. Plus, also, she's very much conflating the different categories of immigration there. You'd imagine a doctor working in a hospital, very much legal migration, exactly the kind of skill that we might want. Then you get asylum seekers, then you get illegally here. And she's conflating the... Wait, no.
Daily rant.
That was our immigration conversation for the nation. Let's see what's happening up here. In the chat. Hang on. How far do we have to go back? Front pages. Thank you. You're translating it for the German audience. Ems has said a funny thing, but I've got to go back to try and find out what it is. They're eating the... Oh, I've not practiced it for ages. They're eating the dog like a dog. They're eating the dogs. I don't know why I don't practice that more often. It's obviously going to be useful. Burning Hatred, great band, says Squirrel. I think I got one of their T-shirts. I thought it was Bob Marley's lost album. Well, how would you know? It's not that lost then, is it? Bandwidth isn't good enough for pictures, but I've got the sound. If there are modesty outfits, can someone describe them for me? There aren't any modesty outfits for Sydney Sweetie today. However, I can describe them for you. Kind of light blue, and that's the end of that description. Squirrel. There's a front just north of Tunbridge Wells. Not sure anything happens there to make the papers, though. What about the local papers? It's the one place I broadcast and never got a local column. The whichever company Argent is now, NewsQuest or something, it's one of the local papers I write a paper for. They're spreading my newspaper column even further. Not sure if that helped you. Call be my eyes, Joodles. Call be my eyes. And I'll take the call. Do you imagine getting the gig of trying to audio describe this show? A bald man sits facing a camera. You want a hotspot, Judes? Well, a hotspot? What's a hotspot? It's not a good spot. Quite, although clearly it is, Stephen. Thank you. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Let's move down. Borderlines are from memes. I think I'm going to lose my mind when you keep pushing immigrants over the borderline. Quoting Madonna. Spectrum says, who's that? Elite. I've already moved on. Elite. We're talking about our favourite computers. He, him, says proper memes. Good spelling. I like it. Did anyone see, says Joodles, the Sky News clip, which featured two Belfast firemen having a fight? One ends up nutting the other one. It was hilarious. No, I didn't. The normally you have one of those enemy of my enemy is my friend or whatever. You'd team a common enemy. That's the phrase I'm looking for. If something's on fire, imagine firemen shouldn't be doing this. Then fax a copy to Stephen. Thank you. I see all the Schaefer's people, says Paul. Hello, Paul. Schaefer's people, they were a great band. Weren't they the dancers on Top of the Pops? But they've got some stories. Oh, now then. Let's crack on. More front pages. No, we've not even moved on from the first front pages, have we? There's that. What's this one? Smuggler's Guarantee. We've covered this one. What's this up here? Oh, okay. So this is how the BBC exterminated Doctor Who. And it's worrying, isn't it? Because apparently we're not going to get a Doctor Who Christmas special. And it's because it's not gone well. So Ncuti Gatwa doesn't want to be the Doctor anymore, and they just can't find someone to play the Doctor because no one wants it. It's a poison chalice. It's got to be covered by the newspapers wanting it to fail. The fan base isn't there anymore. But I think what they're missing is the fact that they're only looking for good acting talent. None of them want to touch it with a barge pole, right? Anyone will be like an interesting actor bringing a new angle to the role. They're not going to do that, are they? They'll never work again. But they're not the only actors. There are other actors lower down the rung. There must be some people who their career's over. You know what I mean? They used to be on TV, sure, and now it's all gone wrong for them. It's all over career-wise. Surely they'd be willing to audition for the role. Oh, come on. I loaded that up perfectly. Oh, that was set up well. I'll take this out in post. Surely they'd be willing to audition for the role. Hello, I'm Stephen Allen, and this is my self-tape audition for a role of the Doctor in Doctor Who Christmas Special. Yes! Sorry, wrong era. Oh no. It's one of the worst villains I've ever faced. It's a TERF! Who's there? Doctor. Don't. Barman, I'll just have a vodka and orange juice and maybe get like an ear pod and just drop that in there. What do I call it? Sonic screwdriver. 1.21 gigawatt. Wrong doctor. Sorry, wrong doctor. You don't know what it's like. I'm the last of my kind. I'm the last of the Time Lords. Apart from the Master. And the other version of David Tennant. And the other version of David Tennant from The Hand. And there were two at the end of the last series for some reason. And I think I've had a kid. Basically, I think we could play football on Sundays. I think it's a good point, well made. I'm not sure what the point was, but whatever it was well made. Martin says, Susan Coleman's made no secret of her desire to play the Doctor. Fair enough. No, I think maybe we shouldn't have a Christmas special. You changed my mind on it. You see, what's the point of having a mind unless you're willing to have it changed? Squirrel says, that was the pansexual people, Steve. They wouldn't let them in near my kitchen then. Oof, dear, I mean, no, it's the few items you can't really scour, but with a non-stick, although it is non-stick. Anyone else think Legs 11 was an odd name for a dance troupe that at the very least would have an even number of legs? I like your left leg. You've got a great left leg. I've got nothing against your left leg. The problem is neither of you. It was Dudley Moore in it, playing that sketch thing. Yeah. Haha, love this stream, Stephen. I'll take it, yeah. And Tennant married the kid. Oh, God, yeah. A non-doctor is a kind of sonic screwdriver, I think. Is it? Is that what they do? Steam for my Gourmet Pro next effort. I have no idea what those words mean in any order, so there we go. Neither of you. It's a great sketch, isn't it? Yeah, so Mark Allen's here. Hi, Steve. Matt Smith's first series, okay. And then Stephen Moffat wrote stupid scripts that didn't make sense. Carry through to Peter Capaldi period. Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Come here. Join me on the side quest over here. The Peter Capaldi episode, after Clara's died, where he's locked in the thing, where he has to keep reliving the... Oh, that's a good episode, isn't it? Is that like... It's the best episode. It's other than all that lark. Which actually, you know, David Tennant, when he died, and he's tapping old Roulette, said Fred's on the other side of it. He couldn't get the door off. But, you know, I didn't think about that at the time because it was emotional because the doctor's dying. But Roulette said Fred, try to get the door off, couldn't do it. The doctor's gonna die. Bernard Cribbins. So he's there and he's knocking on the thing. Bernard Cribbins didn't say, who's there? The doctor. They literally set up. No, you're right. I think you've changed my mind. What's the point in having a mind unless you're willing to have it changed? Hi, we're back. Right, friend. I was so disappointed in the Capaldi era. The writing was awful, but that was a good episode. Other than they didn't need to make the thing like 4 billion times stronger than Diamond. Diamond would have done it, mate. Elite says, I use a handheld steam jet cleaner to clean my Gourmet Pro air fryer oven at some point soon, Stephen. Thank God, because I was worried there. We've not really discussed it in the chat, but we've all been worried about your air fryer. He's saying all of the right words in no particular order. Ho ho! Eating the dogs. For someone who's not an impressionist, I do quite a good range. Has someone updated the spreadsheet in a while? Right, where do we get to? Your audition, says Alan, reminds me of Howard Star Wars audition in Big Bang Theory. Jodie Whittaker had new writers and producers, and the plots made sense for what... The problem was, I don't give two flips about a male or female doctor, but that version of the doctor was all exposition. It's a locked door. I like locked doors. I like to unlock them and go through. I've unlocked it now. I'm going to go through. I tell you what, whoever's doing the audio description on that could have sat down and took the day off. Arsenal says. Yeah, I don't get young people watching this. All right, let's crack on with some more front pages. My references might be somewhat dated. Do you know what? It's good that there's a show for people like us. It's just upsetting for all of us that I'm the one doing it. Dear England, says The Sun, you carry the dreams of a nation that's had it tough. And we believe in you. Never forget you are lions. And it's time to Nah, don't worry about it. Let me break the other side of this one to you. Our boys, don't worry about it. Go and do whatever you do. Honestly, if we don't win, we ain't going to win. It's not going to change my life. It's actually not going to change anyone's lives. Even people on the day who will be like, oh, I've had some beers, I'm really upset, and I thought our boys were going to do it, and we've just not been occupying the space, and the problem was the set pieces, they weren't really set enough. I don't know if it's the temperature out there. I thought they would have set more in the sun, but those pieces were just not set, and, at the end of the day, a game's a game, and it's a game of 2 halves and, 3 quarters. Those people the next day will just crack on with their miserable lives. So don't worry about it. I think that almost qualifies.
Daily Rant.
Up next. Oh, God, more football. On me head, son. If you didn't care about football, you wait till you'll find out what news coverage they've got here. England's football heroes. Not all heroes wear capes, but none of them wear football shirts. Posed for their official World Cup photos. Heroes even before we've had a game. Okay. No, I thought you wouldn't be in favour of this participation trophy nonsense, but you go for it. On the eve of tonight's first game, covered in sunburn. Right. And finally, phone kill switch to end trade in stolen mobiles. This is one of those stories where you think, why? There must be some conspiracy as to why this hasn't happened. Surely one of the easiest things to do would be have some, you're in charge of the technology. You're Apple. You make you don't make the things. Little kids with little hands in China make the things, but you get them made to your specifications. You use, what is it? You're running on Unix. I'll give you that. But Unix that's been derived into BSD. I was watching a video on YouTube about it, which then has been rewritten. Because you didn't matter, like Android, Linux, Mac OS, or whatever it's called, the iPhone OS, BSD. As long as we all know where we stand about which operating system you're based on, I wouldn't want to lead you on. You know which operating system you got. It can't be that difficult to have it set up so that you can switch off a phone so it never works again. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure they'll be working out right now in some dodgy parts of the Far East how to flash this hardware and use it as an Android phone. But why would you not have this? What did Apple get out of having a second-hand market of illegal phones? I don't understand. Meanwhile, there was another tech story which kind of overlaps to it, which we brushed over. A&E receptionists to be replaced by self-check-in on iPads. Great. So these iPads will now have a kill switch. Just when you don't need it. Missed it by that much. I'm not in favour of it, even though I'm quite good with technology. What level of goodness with technology do I have? I don't know. Like, I know the different operating systems phones are based on. Everything is Unix, really, isn't it? Linux is like a copy of it, and BSD, whatever it's called, is basically so much of a copy of it that was sued. But no, I'm not sure why we're talking about that. I don't like the idea of having to do this, because the kind of people who go to A&E aren't going to be good at tech. They'll be old people. I get annoyed at when I'm in a self-scan till queue. It's meant to speed things up until some cretin, it thinks me potatoes are in the rock. Just do the... beep. And people talking to the self-scan. No, I've already put it in the bagging. Just, why aren't you in the long queue for the people? You queue up, you waste your 3 hours queuing up for a person that you can tell them about how your day is, because that's what you're going to do. Meanwhile, I don't like people. I'm good at technology. I'm not good with people. In and out. I'm through. But even I realise it's not going to speed me up that much when I get to A&E. I'm still going to be behind people who can't use technology, or their limbs are dropping off trying to press the buttons with their nose. Ugh. Also, let's not have anything that's touchscreen in a hospital. That's where all the MRSA is. I don't want to touch anything when I'm in hospital, especially I don't want to touch things that ill people have touched with their nose because their limbs are off. I don't want to touch a touchscreen that's been licked while someone logs in. Let's see what's going on over here. Let's see what's going on. Honestly, we're on
Daily Rant.
There's more than one these days, isn't it? Just before we get into some of these, can we just take a little break? Ho ho. All right, hang on. Don't laugh, Mr. Cuff. Who says that? Don't let someone laugh. The last thing I need is people not laughing on this thing. Kermit says, except she was a woman. For the first time in a million years. Yeah. The Doctor was meant to be asexual, so actually it doesn't matter what shell you pop in someone. As long as they remain asexual, the Doctor's the Doctor. You can have female doctors these days. I think they're called nurses. But you could have, look, Kermit, would it have cheered you up? They could have called it Nurse Who, and you'd have been happy as Larry. It's a man, Kermit. You can't tell these days. Who else have we got going on here? Not off me head, son. Think that was the pretend World Cup song in Mike Bassett. Oh, I didn't see it. Yeah, unbelievable though. I didn't watch a lot of films about football. Who'd have thought? Paul says Andrew Gold has a guy on who has uncovered the Jimmy Savile era. I grew up in Leeds and used to regularly see him in Roundhay. What, Andrew Gold? The one who did Thank You for Being a Friend, doo-boo-da-boom. I preferred him when he was doing that. Oh, you're a lonely boy. But then he went all right wing. Aren't stolen iPhones already useless? I don't know. Mummy, where's my soccer sneakers? Says Squirrel. Are you all right there? Are you having an episode? No, I need those phones in prison. Ems, you want to be careful. Because there are going to be a lot of phones that you can suddenly snuggle in. It's not snuggling. Well, it depends, doesn't it? I think I mean smuggle, but if you're that good at it, it probably feels like a snuggle. I'm sure it's lovely. Alan says, with the last Doctor Who, Russell T Davies brought Steve Moffat back. They both got cocky with the scripts, especially with the LGBTQ agenda. New assistant. Wink, like I did in the trailer. Turfs. I think I've landed that gig, guys. Our boots were like wooden bloody clogs in my day. Cold feet. All right. Yep. Just got a quick drink. ASMR. Apple, says Martin, would love to render otherwise usable phones useless to generate more sales. Yeah, of course they would. I'm amazed you own a phone these days. Surely they just want to do it like a rental thing. Monster phase. Paul, I am going through my monster phase. Alan says, I see Doctor Who episodes. Behind the scenes show tell you what you've seen already. Why have I got a blocked up nose? What am I allergic to? Is that not worrying? Well, I started off the show and now, okay, well, if you watch me die, just Ko-fi it or something. I've got kids to feed after I'm dead. I'll be honest, says Kermit. Well, I'm glad you're starting now. I only watched a film about football because my brother was in it. Ah. I don't have a brother, so I think I've explained why I didn't see it. Snuggle into your Middlesbrough prison. It took a while, but I think we can definitely declare that the tone has been set. Right, we got a lot to get through. Should we go deeper into the newspapers? Let's get inside the news. Ding, ding, ding. We start off today with. Oh, let me plug in keyboard. Get out, Nick. It's sneaking back in. It's not quite doing it. I guess we have to continue for the short while. We'll still be having
Immigration conversation for the nation. You ought to be a border hoarder.
Migrant flag fears. Actually, this is also a football story. This is the overlap of the two stories we've done. Wearing St. George's Cross badges during World Cup could intimidate detained migrants, new woke guidance says. It makes so little sense. Even if you're one of those people who does like black and white plea videos going, the only reason someone gets in the water, I wish I had a button that turned it black and white. Oh, I got a whole camera. The only reason someone gets in the water is if it's less safe on the land. And if you're one of those people, even you must realise that surely they quite like to be reminded they've arrived. For all they know, they're still in an island. They could be like on a French island. We definitely left France. How do you know you've turned up there? I don't know. It'd be nice if there were a flag. You know, I think that would be. You don't want to, what's the word? Intimidate. Was that intimidate? Well, then you're in the wrong place. When I have to escape the UK, and I guess I go to France because, I did a GCSE. I could probably learn that one at some point. And then again, I did Dua Lipa on the app. I did the Dua Lipa app to try and learn Italian before doing an Italian holiday. Did not stick. This is how bad I am at remembering words. Still calling that app Dua Lipa. If ever I decided to seek refuge in France, I don't think I'd be like, the flag. Oh, not those three colours. I mean, those three colours are fine, but not in the... They've got all of the right colours. Not necessarily in the right order. Ho-ho! Arsenal. Yep. No, we'll make some progress here. There's some proper... In fact, while we're doing immigration conversation for the nation, smugglers caged on dinghy peril... Pair put lives at risk. 2 migrants who piloted small dinghies to Britain on behalf of smuggling gangs are the first to be jailed under a law, just the one, targeting those putting lives at risk. So the gang's not been smashed. The pilot for the gang, been 2 of them. It's been quite a while since this was all announced, hasn't it? The fact that we've now finally only just got round to it. People can be locked up for taking part in some sort of violent protest within a day. But if you're piloting a dinghy, well, got to get your ducks in a row, which is probably some sort of dinghy pilot talk. But eventually they got around to doing it. It does feel like the only success we've had in trying to stop the boat crossings is a health and safety thing. And actually, we should have been turning and facing that storm all along. It was always going to be a health and safety thing, wasn't it? That's the only way you get anything done in this nation. Health and safety go mad. French Island, great 60s film noir. Calling it even, says Ems. What are you talking about? The number of legs in Legs 11. I like your leg. There go Steve's arms again in the gunge. Yep, you don't really need him after that. Is that what they're calling calling it, Joodles? I know, a nice little snuggle in your Middlesbrough prison. That's what Steve called it way back. Lost sound and vision. Sound and vision. What are you watching then, Jude? Oh, you're just in the chat? Oh, you're back. Just when I was about to say something about you. Hang on, need to move that wire over there. You really got bad signal in central Manchester. Well, it is raining. It's probably interfering with it. Dua Lipa, I hardly knew her, says Hi-Ho Kermit. It's sound and vision. Is it this? I've had the Ultra Rosa before. Shouldn't be a hay fever day, should it? Am I dying? Listen, come with me to the side cam. The lad had his... I'm not even sure I should say this. I'm not naming names, I think it's fine. But it would be obvious who I'm talking about. My 4-year-old had a sports day yesterday, went along to it, and it's the first time I've seen some of the other parents for this preschool school thing that they go to. And look, obviously I'm incredibly old in comparison to the other parents, and I was really worried that there'd be a dad's race. And I'd already warned him, like, no, because I am twice these people's age. I will lose and I will not be able to use my knee again. So I would rather have the embarrassment of saying, sorry, can't, not with my elbow back, than losing. But some of the parents, I don't know what generation they are. There was a woman who, look, I'm all for lip fillers, but she literally looked like she was suffering anaphylaxis. If I'd have had an EpiPen, I'd have done it with it. You're up to date. Hi, welcome back. That camera needs to be fixed. I'm going to have to raise some money for that piece of crap. Labour is no longer seen as the party of working people. But it's too easy to sit around having a go at Labour. Oh, in fact, I could sit around and having a go at the Labour government, and I'd probably get more viewers. Why am I not doing that? But it's too easy to have a go at the Labour government. Yes, sure, they're not seen as the party for the working people, but thanks to the Labour government, there are fewer working people. They might have pitched their tent to the right wagon or whatever you do. They might have pitched their ducks to the right row. They might have set their piece in the right direction here. Very easy for you to judge. Ernie Wise was from Leeds too. While I'm being patriotic, well, he was playing all of the right counties. You'll be fine in Jamaica. I hardly knew it. What? You should have Dua ad-lipped in Italu. Are you all right, Proper Memes? I think you might have had a stroke there. Go and log in on an iPad to the local hospital. Football fans are like Star Trek fans. They're obsessed with a subject, especially soccer fans. They dress up at the... You're right. I never noticed that before. These football fans look like they're cool dressing up. It is exactly the same as turning up to one of those sci-fi Comic-Con things with your little badge. Beep, beep, beep. Oh, nuts. I got one. Mr. Wolf on main viewer. The I know they're all weird designs, aren't they? I'll start wearing them on the telly. No, you're right. What kind of an idiot has merch that makes them look like... I'm on my mobile with a dodgy signal, says Proper Memes. Well, if you're going to hang around in those car parks, that's what you're going to get, isn't it? They're now called Labour because the laborious mental fatigue they cause, says Squirrel, liking it. Football fans have conventions every week. True. But it's not like Deep Space Nine's going to get relegated at the end of the season. So, unless it's the end of the season when... In fact... Something about the end of the season, Star Trek Next Generation to be continued. Put all those concepts in a joke. You do it. No, I've been working too hard here today. Speaking of which, actually, I've been working so hard, it's about time we took a little break. Hang on, go on to these ready. Thanks to the unique way this show is funded, we'll be back after these messages. Hello, I'm Mr. Stephen Allen. And I got this phone and tripod out earlier to film a little silly sketch. So I thought, why not film another one of these appeal things? Due to the unique way this show is funded, you could help out by going to ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen and giving me some money. And I know what you're thinking. Why would I do that, Steve? You know when you fill up a tank of petrol and you like to get a round number, a £20, a £30, yeah, you'll stand there squeezing the trigger to get the right amount so it's the right, all the zeros. Well, go and take a look at your bank account. I guess the number that's in your current account right now, it's not a round number. Ooh, icky, messy. Wouldn't it be better if you rounded it down to the nearest 100, maybe even 1,000, and gave it to ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen? Welcome back. I see that Joodles and Ems are saying, isn't it good that we're here for all the football coverage? I think you're real. I'm up to date with the football. More on that story later. I thought my sound had gone again. Sorry. Although did you get any audio in that? I know sometimes I foof those up, don't I? Audio properties. No, it played. I once, says Paul, bold, drunk, enough to ask a football fan if a nylon bright yellow shirt that cost £100 justified anything else beside football. Although, speaking of which, who was it just asked me? Kermit says, when he gets his skin-tight top to go with that badge, will it be mustard, blue, or red? I'll allow you to decide in the comment. Quick side note, the mustard, which is actually gold, was not originally meant to be gold, is it? In the Star Trek, the original series, it was meant to be green, but the color resolution and cameras back then just didn't show it up as green. So it looked yellow, which then they called it gold. You're up to date. What do you mean I should get out more? Show your face. AI, not that camera as well. Sweet. Boobies. AI Minority Report bots are coming. Supercomputers could predict crimes before they happen, like the Tom Cruise Minority Report thing. This is really bad news, and I'll tell you for why. If they are working out, if you're about to think of a crime, I'm going to jail, because I don't do crimes, but I think of so many crimes. If that thing's working out like, who's just thought of doing a crime? This guy. I'm walking down the street. Someone's a slow walker. In real life, I'll wait until I eventually get round. That's it. In my head, oh my days, they were under a car. Like half an hour back. Do you know, I once my car broke down. Starter motor, you don't care. And it was it was on the way to a gig in somewhere in the West Midlands, but like north of the West Midlands. It was like a not quite a lane, but a really quiet area. I had to call the breakdown service, and the guy turns up and he's bonnet up, he's in there having a look. And the thought that went through my mind, you know, people say if you're up on a high building, the thought that goes through your mind is like, I'm going to jump off. Oh my, I thought it. Oh my God. That's not the thought I have. He was in there sorting out the starter motor, and I thought, I could get rid of him now. Wait, what have I thought that? Because that's the voice on the inside of my head. So I'll be in prison with Ems. And Ems, it will be a pleasure to be in prison with you. I probably don't need a phone, thanks. I mean, I do need a phone, but it's not that I don't know where that's been. It's that I do know where that's been. In entertainment news, I wasn't fishing. Natalie Imbruglia has given up on finding true love after men on dating apps didn't believe her profile was really her. Well, look, that makes sense, doesn't it? If you're on a dating app and there's a picture of Natalie Imbruglia, you think, no, I can't even remember if she's married or something. It's not likely to be her. Statistically, it's not likely to be her. Can I just say, though, her response is dumb. The story should be, I'm not going to use dating apps anymore because an online dating app with my face seems less believable because it's the internet. You can still meet people in real life. It just seems like an odd overreaction. Someone once thought my online profile wasn't real, so screw everyone else. I don't know. So I kind of half understand what she's talking about and half think she's making a massive error. I guess you would say, I'm torn. I would have played the clip in, but I didn't have time to. Why am I allergic to this? A dino soaring. Oh, God. A mum had to cancel her flight after discovering that her son had doodled a dinosaur on a passport before an overseas work trip. Did she check? The unnamed woman, I mean, I guess he wrote over that part of it then. She should have remembered her own name. If you have to check your passport to work out your name, you shouldn't be flying anyway. You should just be staying at home. The unnamed woman was told the document was damaged and not valid for travel by immigration officials in Malaysia. I think. Hang on. She shared photos of the scribblings, saying, I hate dinosaurs. You went the wrong way. You should have gone the other way. And this is what I'll do, if my kid ever draws a dinosaur on my passport, it's easier just to get the dinosaur facial tattoo, go on holiday, when you get back, are we done? Look, I'm mocked up. That's what I'd look like. Yeah, man. Who wouldn't want to go on holiday looking like that? Do you think he saw us? I don't know. Speaking of which, in more dinosaur news, T-Rex skin handbag will leave you skint. Monster £500,000 for dino DNA accessory. Why I'm even reading some headlines are just about understandable. A T-Rex leather handbag is being auctioned for £500 million. The wacky accessory is claimed to be the first handbag engineered from DNA linked to the dinosaur. They got the DNA, and their scientists spent too long thinking if they could, and not if they should. So they made a dinosaur handbag. Can we just stop doing this? Because at some point, it seems that aliens are going to come and visit. And they'll turn up and they'll be like, Erger Burgle. But they'll be, in their language, they'll be saying, what are these humans like? What do these humans get up to? And they'll work out that we're the kind of people who spend our resources on this planet re-engineering the DNA of extinct species so we can skin them and use their flesh as accessories. They're just going to wipe us out, aren't they? They'll be like, yeah, should we just cleanse this planet? Seems a bit, all right. And I, for one, welcome our new alien overlords. Mr. Cuff's back again. Good. Hi, Hokum. It says they used to have a little tray with a few copper coins on the garage counter. True. If you've gone over by 1p or 2p and didn't have it. True. But they've not got rid of that because society, we're no longer a high trust society and, civilization is crumbling. People don't use coins. You're up to date. She is torn about it. Oh, Paul, you got in there before me, you little. I mean, you could go to M's prisons, but you'd have to start calling yourself Stephanie. Is she not in the men's prisons? Because I know what women are like. They love a prisoner. Because you know where he is at the end of the day. Scary number of people have no internal monologue. Well, true. I'm glad you said it out loud. Weird. The football film brother. No, okay, fair enough. The football film brother used to date Natalie. No, you're tripping. You're tripping balls, man. Minority Report Tech, says Alan. What do we have psychics, telepaths, clairvoyants, and astrologers for? They don't quite fit. It's all bum cum. But the biggest amount of cum in that bum is the astrologers, isn't it? Is that what that phrase means? Good deal. If it's for foreskin, it swells up to a suitcase. Rub it, right? That would get you around the Ryanair restrictions, wouldn't it? Yeah, it fits in this thing until I do this. Boo-doo-doo-dee-dum. The defence secretary has resigned. He's not been given the money he needs to build up our defences. Really? This is some breaking news. John Healey, has he not just written another letter? Let's have a look. Car doors are unlocked. PM hit by unexpected cabinet resignation as minister. Don't need it. John Healey, here we go. Resigns in disagreement with Starmer over defence spending. We covered this last night on the telly show. Actually, there is a chance that the government does achieve 3.5% of GDP if they can really shrink GDP down. And Rachel Reeves is doing great work on this. So it's all very easy to criticise the Labour government. I could sit around ranting on YouTube about the Labour government and I'd have a much bigger following. Why am I doing it? Judel says, get the rap out. I still don't remember the words. And you've sent me the clip. I did a John Healey rap at some point. I make some guff, don't I? I churn out some. That's your actual news. Paul says the fourth industrial revolution seeks to have a Minority Report net over the cortex of all. I was about to say the same. What else we got going on? Keep the comments coming through. How long have we got? Don't forget, like and subscribe. And that's it. Because I realised it's quite bleached out, isn't it? Me contrast is not right. But I realised, hang on, where's the thing? See if this works. I'm not playing that. That's just. It was an ordinary day in the office, trying to review news on the internet, when a dame walked in. She had legs so long I thought she had a beard. I was going to offer her a chance to shave when she said she had a case. I said, well, if you've got a case of razors, why do you have the goatee? She had no idea what I was talking about. I knew she was trouble from the moment she walked in. She set fire to the place. She said she wanted one news story being reviewed. I said, sure, why not? That's what I do on the show. And there it is. Bye. I've got to pause it to get rid of it. There we go. Bye. Chalk is chucked out for fat jabs. What? But mouthwash sales go up for Ozempic breath. Brits' obsession with weight loss jabs has seen £780 million slashed off the grocery bills. The appetite suppressors mean that people are not only eating less, but also cutting back on treats like chocolate. I thought that was the other thing. I thought it was that people are just eating the treats. They're not hungry, but they're cramming that down their necks. Oh well. Around 1.9 million adults in the UK are taking injections. Why is it? I don't know why. Why is it then that I've seen normal, you can't say normal these days, normal people that I know, some normal people just get absolutely skeletal, don't they? They go absolutely, oh, look at pictures of me on social media down the beach. All right, well, if something's happened. But the ones who need it, I'm still noticing. I'm still being overtaken by people on their rascals. You know what I mean? On their Motability scooters. Excellent, says Martin. More chalky for the rest of us. But none of this makes sense. GLP drugs such as Ozempic and Mounjaro and Wegovy turn off hunger switches in the brain. Who's eating because they're... She was a dame. Hey. Who's eating because they're hungry? This is why I don't think it would work for me. I'm fairly sure I eat chocolate because I'm miserable. Is there a drug that could stop me being miserable? I mean, there is, isn't there? There is. But I can afford it if you give money at ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. The problem is, right, your GLPs, whatever they're called, your Greater London Assemblies, you have those drugs, it stops you being hungry, it stops you drinking as much, stops you gambling, it sorts out your relationship with dopamine. Great. A drug that makes you feel happier, the antidepressants, don't they knock out your trouser wood? No, as soon as I heard that rumour, I'm not interested. The last thing I want is to be happy but not able to do anything about it. I'd rather be a miserable boner. What? Choc pock for you all. What are we talking about? A black in noir. Yeah. Almost Daily Noir. It's because I watched Spider Noir. Has anyone else watched Spider Noir yet? I loved it. It's not. Nicolas Cage isn't necessarily giving it his best work. It's just fun. More bloaters around today than the 80s. Exactly, Paul. I think that's what I was trying to say. If there's that many people on it, but it's not the fat people on it, is it? We need to start putting it into the water. I think anti-misery drugs you've been looking for is this, chocolate. Well, the good news is there's loads left. No one's eating the damn thing. Mr. Happy or Mr. Boner, says Proper Memes. One morning, Mr. Tickle, Mr. Happy, and Mr. Boner. Mr. Boner is like Mr. Tickle, but it's not really, really long arms. One morning, Mr. Boner woke up. His long, prehensile penis. Antidepressants make everything numb. So no highs, no lows, no wood. No, I wouldn't either. What? I think we're up to date. 54 minutes. We brought it in. There's a couple of things to do before we go. Well, does anyone care? Gen Zs think the truth is out there. Why are we asking Gen Zs anything? I'm going against my own theory. Ems, are you still in prison? She came up with an idea to do a sweepstake about football. Already, I'm at me depth. But we can try. Let's join me over here on the Noir cam. Yep. Find the one camera with way too much contrast issues, where the brightness needs turning down. There you go, bud. Look at them. Look at them apples. Do you like apples? So, Ems, would you take to the chat to explain? I don't really understand she comes up with an idea. Why don't we do a sweepstake? And that's as far as my brain understood. And then I thought, it's probably about set pieces, because I don't really know. Would you like to do a sweepstake? I think there's a football thing happening on at the moment. And I cut this out of the newspapers. I can tell you some of the countries that are taking part. Look at this one. I'll show you. If only I had a camera that shows you what's written on stuff. Dr. Congo. Yes. Wrong one. Wrong doctor. 1.21 gigawatts. Jordan. So she's looking after her husband. We know that one. So, Croatia, barely knew her. You're a gay. Well, honestly, I'm not really sure if you're allowed to say that these days. Then again, they called that whole zone ULEZ, so I think you probably are. Bosnia-Herzegovina, I barely knew her. South Korea. Look, we can do all that all day. But if you'd like, we'll do a thing. Should we do it on Discord? Do we do it in the chats? There's now a members section on here. I don't know what it is. There we go. Joodles. No, hang on. We give you cash and get teams. The person who wins gets the cash. Do you reckon I'll be allowed to do that? Feels like I'm not allowed to do that. Or some cash. Good point. I keep the cash and you get some cash. No, that can't be it. M's idea was we do a sweepstake and you donate on Ko-fi to get in on the action. Just any donation will get you in on it, and pick a country. But if you pick a country, you won't know which one's left, will you? How do I do it? There's always tomorrow's show to really nail this. Mr. Ben Books were the laziest literature ever. They commended themselves to satirical purposes. This is a stupid boy. Don't tell me back. It's not the laziest literature ever. In comparison to some of the guff I read to my kids. Oh, my days. It is brilliant. Firstly, Smeds and the Smooze, it's just a rip-off of Romeo and Juliet. I'm not having that. The Gruffalo's Child is the biggest waste of my time. But, I'll tell you what, I'll give you this. Squash and a Squeeze, by the same author, whatever her name is, Julia Donaldson. Squash and a Squeeze is great because there's the old woman and the wise old man. And my kids don't appreciate the level of acting they're getting. A little old lady lived all by herself, with a table and chair and a jug on the shelf. The little old lady said, "Oh, boy," I do all the voices. "Oh, wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." And the wise old man said, "Take in your hen." And look, the richness of the performance. And they're looking at me like I'm an idiot. Jamaica, I barely knew it. Good point. You put them in a hat and draw them randomly. Thank you, Ems. Yes. So should we do this tomorrow on the show? Yes. So you've got 24 hours. Well, it's not 24, is it? It's 23. You know how numbers work. You've got 23. Anyone who makes any contribution at Ko-fi.com, well, then this is only going to be 2 people who's in the draw. I'm a realistic man. We need to give it a week. Tuesday. Can we do it? When does the football start? Tomorrow. Today. I don't know. So we'll work on it. I'll cut these out. I'll put them in a hat. I've got hats. And then we'll do a draw tomorrow. Or maybe it doesn't have to be money on Ko-fi. Maybe I'm pushing too much. If you're in the chat, you can take part in it. Should we do that? Tomorrow, anyone who wants to be in it, we'll do a draw. And then we'll see who wins. And eventually one who wins strips naked. Is that right? Is that how this happened? Elite says, nothing played with as much heart as the Sound to Rainbow, period. Up above the streets and houses, rainbow flying high. That one, yeah. Jennifer Gruffalo. You're right, that's the author of the Gruffalo. Jennifer Gruffalo. Your load's better at this, Ems. Probably. Otherwise, we'd all be wanting Cape Verde. Who does what? Oh, I see. All right. Of course, children's literature has got worse, naturally. Well, the children have. It's not our fault. I blame the parents, apart from about mine. You're not here Tuesday. God damn it. That's right. I'm on holiday next week. Strips naked equals skin. Good point. Yes, that's the one, Stephen. So as long as someone's naked by the end of it, but not next week. You can be all here naked next week if you want. I'll be on holiday next week. We probably ought to meanwhile, point out what I'm doing. Should be smoking. She was a bad dame. Legs that went all the way up to her. Like and subscribe. Hi, I'm Stephen Allen, and here's where you can see me this week. But, plugs. Friday, tomorrow, 12, Almost Daily, live and loose, where we'll be doing a draw about football. Then on Saturday morning, GB News from 6 in the morning. Yeah, man. And then, well, I still don't know. Possibly on Times Radio. I'm booked in for it, but I might get unbooked because it wasn't that long ago that I did one. I wouldn't be surprised. But maybe I'll be talking about news. And then, holiday. I'm off on holiday for a week, which means next week there'll be no broadcast on Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. How on earth will you cope? Which might mean this was exactly the wrong time to like and subscribe, to launch into the. I'm now. You can be a member. You can be a massive member. You go and look at the description to this video. You can join. You can sign up. I don't really know what you get for it. You give me money for some reason. I'm not quite sure. I'm not going to say no. Judel says, must go. See you tomorrow. Been an absolute pleasure. We're 4 minutes past. Good work. Holiday. No one likes a show-off, Stephen. You don't know where I'm going yet. I mean, I'll tell you, it's Norfolk. So all of a sudden... Hey, I mean, if you really donate a lot of money, I might go somewhere else, but I don't think that's going to happen. Pioneering thruple. Rod, Jane, and Freddie. Oh, my days. Well, you've just ruined my childhood. Alan says, I'm missing you already. Missing you too. What are the perks? I've had to list the perks. It said something about giving shout-outs to people. I do that, but that. There's going to be early access to content, nudes. Non-nudes. And I got some plans. I got some plans on making some extra videos that members will get early. And then maybe some eventually we just do for members. When we get enough there. If you're going away, bye-byes. I'm going to Norfolk. No fucking chance. Ah, dear. The tone has been maintained. Second jingle needed. Right, so I think we're basically done. Thank you very much for watching. I'll keep this for tomorrow. We'll see if we can get anything out of it. So I am here tomorrow at 12, and that's the last one for a week. Thank you very much for watching. Whatever this is, it's certainly a thing, isn't it? Early access to live shows. Yeah, you'll get to watch the shows before they're done. Let's get the chat up on this one. Somehow, I think it's a space-time continuum thing. It's if you can manage to travel faster than the speed of light and break the causal nature of the universe, then yeah, sure, you could witness it before I've actually done it. And enjoy it and let me know how it went. Unless it didn't go well, in which case I wouldn't mention it. Toodle plonk, friends, says Squirrel. Members for members, that's an idea. And it also said I could offer a discount on merch. I'm going to have to keep that as cheap as it is, as cheap as chips anyway. Loads of broads where Steve's going. Yep. Which just makes me as bad as Supertramp. They wanted to go to America to see the girls in California. Video of his member. Good point. I can see why Judes and M's have joined already. Hey. He really is Doctor Who. Oh, the time thing. Yeah. I very much enjoyed today. I'm not sure if I meant to say that. I'm off to continue to try and fix that camera, but it's pushing back, isn't it? Elite says, I'm a Time Lord, owing to wearing a Casio. You know what? I love a flipping Casio. I got one in my bag, actually, for when I do gigs. If the smartwatch is a bit too much, if I'm like, I ain't going to be able to see, someone might call I'm on stage. And we're up to date. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to wherever you can subscribe. Give money at ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen if you have to. Don't feel too obliged. And members, Discord, audio-only podcast, Substack for things that I write. There'll be one of those coming out when I'm away on holiday, just in case you really were going to get withdrawal issues, which is, again, that sounds like a different thing. And until tomorrow at 12, bye. Yes, the Time Lords.